Hello, this is Retro Toys 77 and today we are talking Action Force, but not any Action Force, no. This is early Action Force, and in particular we have a space theme. We're looking at the Roboskull, but also the Triad fighter. So both of these designed to fight in the air and have a distinct space theme to them. Both sets are fully intact, although I seem to have misplaced the pilot for the Roboskull. He will be around somewhere. So what's really nice about these, as well as having immense play value, Action Force toys at the time came with blueprints on one side with the instructions of how to put it together, but also on the other side it gave you some information about the character and also the ship itself. So this here is the Triad fighter. This was the good guy, part of Action Force. I think they called them Space Force, this particular unit. You also had the SAS, you had Q Force, which was the water-based contingent, but these guys fought in the air, in space. So at the moment you can see it's one large spaceship. Where it gets its name Triad from is that these front ships can actually come off and fly independently. You could then flip the wings around backwards on this. A bit tricky to do one-handed, but basically they rotate and that forms its own ship. So there were other characters, other space-based characters that you could get, and I do have a few of those, and they could pilot these independently of the main ship itself. Okay, and then they just clip back on there like so. Good toy. I think I got that for Christmas one year from my auntie. I do remember, I think my cousin let the secret out of the bag a little bit early and told me that I had this coming, but it didn't diminish from my enjoyment at all. So here we have the Roboskull. Now, this was one of the bad guys. And the bad guys, from what I can remember, were known as the Red Shadows, led by someone called Baron Ironblood. And this was piloted by Red Wolf. Now, I will point out that these old Action Force figures were very early on, and obviously Action Force later then took on more of the American G.I. Joe style design and themes. And obviously Action Force then fought against Cobra. Now I do believe the Roboskull did hang around for a little bit in that new era with Cobra branding, but as you can see, the one I have is the original one with the Red Shadows branding. Okay, I think the stickers changed slightly, and I think actually they might have changed the pilot over. So the old Action Force figures, fairly basic jointing on them, more like the Star Wars figures, whereas the sort of later Action Force had hinged knees and elbows, and you could sort of pose them a lot more easily. And I think, from what I know, the replacement Roboskull pilot went from being the old style to basically the same guy that flew the Cobra Rattler, a character called Wild Weasel. But anyway, this is the original one. Really cool design, as you can see. You can see where it gets its name, Roboskull. And basically the wings can sort of twist. Let's see if we can get them to do that. There you go, so you can change the orientation of the wings. Fully intact, you've got all the lasers, everything's there. The pilot would go in here. You've then got another hatch around the back where I guess a rear gunner could sit. Let's just see if we can get that open. Yeah, so someone could sit in there. And then underneath, we've actually got a another hatch. There you go, I guess that's where you could stick a prisoner or another bad guy to pop out and attack whoever. But a really cool design to it as well. from what I understand, fairly fragile and bits can easily go missing. I know the red foot bits, they come off really easy, as do these lasers here. So I can see how things would disappear on this one. And again, you can see the blueprint here. So it gives you a little bit of information about the pilot and then the Roboskull itself. But all in all, a very nice toy. Again, I remember buying this from the toy shop in the early 80s. I think the price is still on the sticker there. There we go. So yeah, that's the Roboskull and the Triad fighter, early action force. Hope you enjoyed looking at this, and hope it reminded you of some fun times from your youth too. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share.